big day is finally here. I am so excited. Let's talk about Brigitte Lindholm and her console button mapping guide. Your too long didn't read version. Um, I really like the default controls here, and I'll explain why. With the reticle, I also like it as default, and I'll explain that as well. But I do turn the dot opacity all the way down to 0 because there's no need for a dot. Um, so, Brigitte Lindholm, daughter of Torbjörn, and squire of Reinhardt. Her kit has several crossovers between the two, which is really cool. They're sort of inspirations um, due to their influences. She is a 1-star support hero that has many tank-like qualities. If you love the D&D Paladin class, or sort of what Paladins represent, not the competing video game, right? But just the overall class, the knight, the holy knight. You may love Brigitte. Let's play her. So, talking about her kit now. The first thing I'm going to talk about is her passive. This is how she gets her healing done. It is called Inspire. It has a... I'm going to hit a guy here. Notice how they're like slowly healing. That's pretty neat. Her Inspire passive does 16 heals per second in a 20-meter radius over 5 seconds for a total of 80 health. It has a 1.5 second cooldown, which is kind of weird sounding, but what that 1.5 second cooldown means is you can't get in on the healing if you're not there receiving it by the time she gets a hit in. So, what happens? I hit somebody with my flail, either my Whipshot or just my regular melee, and I and my allies will regain 16 heals per second. Notice it stopped, but if I get another hit in, it'll come back. And this is anytime she hits with her flail. This includes a Whipshot and her melee, which I've already said. Let's talk about our rocket flail. This is on R2/R trigger. It does 35 damage per hit. It has a 6-meter range. So here we go. Here's 5 meters. 6-meter range here. It will hit, you can do one swing every 0.6 seconds for a total of 58.33 DPS. It has a 3-meter horizontal range, so it's like a teeny tiny little cone. Not like Winston's cone. Winston's cone is like this. Hers is like really teeny tiny, so I can't even hit these two. I sort of can, but if you are close enough, you can, if you're close enough to people, it will hit a max of 3 targets. So you have a very small AoE with it for 3 targets. Which might be good for dealing with Symmetra turret nests. So that is her rocket flail. Sorry, little guy. Next is her Whipshot. Her Whipshot is a reverse Roadhog hook. This is on L1/left bumper. So her flail is here, her rocket flail, and then her Whipshot is on the other side. Now, she is a support hero, and she does have a support ability. We'll go over that, but for right now, I really like that it's on L1 left bumper, and I will get into that. So, her Whipshot does 70 damage and it has a 20-meter range. It also has a 4-second cooldown. It will do between 5 and 10 meters of knockback, depending on your angle, probably. And now I'm going to talk about her reticle. So her reticle, so here I am at max distance, right? The robot's arms are not actually in its hitbox, its body is. So the default reticle for Brigitte is set up so that you can, if the robot's body is anywhere within that circle, and you do your rocket flail, it will hit. Am I too far? What if I'm standing right on it? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, 20 meters. And the hitbox on the flail itself seems to be kind of generous. So that's the whip shot. That's on L1 left bumper. Let's talk about repair pack. Repair pack is on R1 right bumper. When you see a little allied reticle like this, that means you can use it. Repair pack does 150 health instantly, and it will give up to 75 armor if you're going over the maximum. The bonus armor will last for 5 seconds, so it's not like Torbjorn's armor packs where you can just give them out. You can't do that. It's better as a big ol' burst heal. It has a 30-meter range though, and a 6-second cooldown. So let's test one out. So see, it hit its max, and then some. 2, 1.
I got you.
There we go. Pretty good. I don't know if there's a ton of sustainability.
You a little extra.
There probably isn't. Not with. No, don't die, don't die, don't die.
Armoring you up.
Let's see here. Okay, next, let's talk about her barrier shield. This is on L2, left trigger. A lot like Reinhardt's barrier shield. In fact, very similar, except for it has 600, like Winston's shield. So the barrier shield has 600 health. If it gets depleted, it will recharge 100 shields per second when not in use for 2 seconds. When you have your shield up, you move at 3.85 meter movement speed. Normal movement speed is 6 meters. 6 meters per second, sorry. So 3.58 meters per second, 6 meters per second. If the shield is completely broken, it will have a 3-second cooldown before it starts recharging. And now there is an ability that goes along with it. So if you notice, my R2 down there is redded out, right? Can you see it from? Oh well, is redded out. But as soon as I put my shield up, all of a sudden it comes up, and so you must be holding the L2 left trigger, and then R2 will come up, and you can do your shield bash. So you will need to hold both of them at the same time. Shield bash does 50 damage. It dashes you forward 6 meters, and it will stun your foe for 1 second, and it's on a 5-second cooldown. There we go. There we go. Let me see here. Finally, let's talk about her ult. Her ult is called Rally. You will gain 30 armor per second for a max of 150 armor at a time. It's got an 8-meter radius around you and a 10-second duration. So if you're doing the math, that means you can gain a potential of 300 armor over the life of the ult. So you might be tempted to say, oh well, I'm just going to use my ult when we're down, when we have downtime, so that way we can all just get a bunch of armor. But you might want to consider doing it in a fight, because if you finish that fight and your ult is still going, then you will get more armor. You will also have faster movement speed, and your armor will stay after the ult ends. Let's try this out here. So here we have people gaining. We can see the aura too. I think you probably need line of sight. So he has his armor here. That armor will stay there indefinitely. It's not like the 5 seconds from the repair kit. If I give him the repair kit, that armor will stack, but then 3 bars should go away in 5 seconds, and indeed they do. But the ult armor will stay on. So your repair kit can stack. Let's talk about why in the world I like the default, because normally, if you're following along, I like to put support and mobility on the left and damage on the right. Well, Brigitte has weird crossover things. You're holding up shield, and you're having to do a shield bash, But then if you want to do a repair kit, it's really awkward to hold it up and then take it off and do your repair kit if we have it on the left side. So that's why I have repair kit on the right side. So I can be shielding, walking around, seeing that the Genji is getting crushed, and then just hit him, and I can keep holding my shield. That's sort of the good thing about it. So I can just be shield, fire off the repair, and keep going. And the reason why I wouldn't have rocket flail on there, because you could say, hey, you could just rocket flail, and then, or you can have shield and then rocket flail from that, because it will drop her shield to rocket flail. The reason why I wouldn't do that is because of combos. So I would go, so this is what you might do. Shield bash, melee, rocket flail. And that is a combo. So you hold up your shield, boom, melee, rocket flail. Whoops. You're gonna have to work with that. Also, for my controls for Brigitte, I have changed them ever so slightly. Her sensitivity, I changed it to 45. She's not a super aimer, with the exception of her rocket flail. But rocket flail isn't. We'll see how it happens in battle. But I would rather want to be able to turn around quickly than, you know, I would rather be able to turn around quickly than have super precise aim with my rocket flail. It doesn't really interrupt all that much. So that is it for your console button mapping guide for Brigitte Lindholm. If there are any changes, if I decide, you know what, I really do like repair kit on the other thing, I will make mention in the comments. So thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna get off. I'm actually gonna go play her, probably in arcade. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna stream that too. So join me for that if you're around, and have fun out there.